Did you see that? We are talking about the haves and the have-nots. Season 7, episodes, what is it, 7 and 8. Okay? So tomorrow starts the new season, so I'm getting them all in. I'm doing 2 episodes at a time. So let's start off with the way this one started, with Hannah whooping Jim's butt on top of him in the hospital, busting him up, busting him up, busting him up. You better not have killed my son. You better not have killed my son. Oh, Lord, Bobby J was laughing. I was cracking up. She was giving him an old-fashioned whoop. You know what I mean? She was like, you better not hurt my son and stuff. And the nurse coming there trying to stop her. And look, and ain't no nurse gonna stop a crazy mama whose son think her son just got killed. You know, so she was like, he better not. She threatening him, and Jim was just like nasty. You know, he was nasty. So then they switch over, and I had to do bullet points this time because I got to make sure I don't forget to tell y'all anything. And what's the second thing? The Malones, they show up and they save Benny, and that guy, that thug, knew the Malone's name, but he didn't know that they had nothing to do with it. And they said they here because of Candace, his sister, you know, as a favor to her. And then what they did was they whooped his behind for stepping in their territory. And then they wouldn't, because they're racist, the Malones are racist, they wouldn't let Benny use the phone, and told him he had to find a way home, get out of here and all this stuff. And then he calls Mitch, tells Mitch, we found him, we got him and everything. But then they don't want, he said, well, put him on the phone. He said he left. He said, what do you mean he left? He don't have no car, he ain't got no money. How he left? Yo, come on, give him a ride. I don't want him in my car. I don't want him in my car. It don't make no sense to be that damn racist. It do not make no sense to be that racist. So anyway, Mitch begged him to let him in there. And then Mitch said, okay, Candace, let's go bring that money. I'll call your mother or whatever. She's like, nah, I do that once I see my brother. Once I see my brother, then I'll do that and stuff. Then they switched to Jeff and Madison. And Madison is getting ready to leave, and he's standing there naked with his little big muscles and stuff. And Jeffrey trying not to look at it. He tried not to look. He said, Jeffrey, you can look at me. You can look at me. And Jeffrey's like, nah, that's okay. I'm giving you the respect to get dressed and stuff. And he's like, you can look at me. He wanted Jeff to look at him. Jeffrey to look at him so he could, you know, get excited because his body was nice. And so he told him, Jeffrey looked and said, your body is nice. You know, he said, no, look at me. You know, and, you know, Jeffrey saw it. Next thing, he got close to Jeffrey while he put on just the bottoms, but he had his big old chest up in there, Jeffrey, and started trying to kiss Jeffrey on the neck, and they started getting busy. Ooh, yeah, that was that. And then Hannah gets home, and her phone rings, and it's Catherine crying. And Catherine is calling her from prison, telling her she needs her to see her because she come down there now. And Hannah tells her what Jim did that had him kidnapped, and she thinks he's dead. Her son is dead. And she's like, what? And at that point, that's when Benny and them walk in, and Mitch and Candace, they walk in the house, and she drops the phone, and she's like, oh, my baby, you okay? And then she hears she hears Catherine like, Hannah. And then she realizes to get back on the phone. So Catherine asked Hannah to come down there to the prison, and she said, we going to the bank right now and do that. She said, well, before you go to the bank, I need you to come here first. That way you only make one trip. So Hannah said, okay. She went in the back. She said, I'm gonna get ready, and we all gonna go. She go in the back to get ready. Benny's like, come on y'all, let's go, before she come back out here. And you know, Mitch and them is trying to tell him it's just gonna keep going on. It's gonna keep going on. Candace is like, this is you know, I'm trying to do the right thing and stuff, and he's trying to tell Candace to get on a plane and leave with the $8 million. I was like, how do you want to change the storyline so bad? He can never get mad at Candace again for doing anything. If he's doing this when she's trying to do the right thing, he's telling her to do the wrong thing. I don't get this. I'm like, Tyler, what are you doing? What kind of script is this you writing? Anyway, what else happened? Hannah gets to the captain. Charles, they show Charles and the senator, and he asks him to be his new attorney general. And once he asks him to be the new attorney general, they chat. He's like, why you wait to ask me last, blah blah blah. He said, well, you was my first choice, but I had to go through the, you know, go through the motions, you know. And then he told him he wants him to meet with the new attorney, the present attorney general, let's put it that way, and find out information if he can. See, because now he knows Landon told him that attorney general got robbed by Candace. So now he trying to get back at Candace for $1,800. It don't make no sense at all. Okay, and then Celine visits Jim in the hospital, and Jim is real nasty to her, real funky to her. He is not the nicest person, and so Celine walks out and she calls Veronica and tells her she gonna meet with her. You know that she wants to meet with her and sue Jim for child support. Then it goes back to Justin's apartment, and when Justin gets in his apartment, you know, he's in there, he comes out the room, and the thugs are in his house waiting for him to bust him up, and he's like begging, no, why can't you leave me alone, why you doing this and stuff, and he's like, as long as Veronica keep calling us, we gonna keep doing this. You gotta do the right thing. You gotta take that over Veronica. He's like, I got $4,000. So he get him $4,000 not to beat him up. And he said, dude, I still gonna have to give you like 1 or 2 punches or something. And he punched him real hard. It was 3 thugs up in there. So, you know, and then next thing, what else happened? Landon and Charles, they chat. And he shares how he treated Candace the last time. See, Landon didn't know what Charles did because the other guy, Oliver, told him to make Candace look bad, get away from her, don't let her go out the front, avoid her. And he put her in a trunk and drove her out of his house. And Landon was like, you did what? Landon could not believe it. He said, so I think that's dead between me and Candace. She was not happy. I was like, dang, that's so messed up, you know? So Landon was disappointed. Then it goes back to Catherine and Wyatt, and Catherine's and Wyatt's apologizing, Mom, because now he found out he can't get immunity. He can't get immunity for all this stuff. So now he is upset. He's such a ditz, you know. So his mother ain't falling for it. She was like, "Oh, did they tell you that we're not gonna press charges?" He said, "Oh no, oh that's great." She said, "That's not true. We're gonna press charges." And he was like, "I'm gonna speak to Dad." And he's like, "Dad doesn't want to speak to you, I'm sure, and he don't want to have nothing to do with you." So she said, "I'm sure your father feels the same way as I did. You try to kill us? Are you crazy? Ain't nobody trying to get you out. That boy need them. I'm telling you, them drugs don't fried that brain of his. Fried like scrambled eggs, fried. This is your brain on drugs. You know that? Remember that commercial with the scrambled eggs in the frying pan?" Anyway, she let him know they're pressing charges. Then next thing you know, we're at Veronica's house, and Justin's at the door begging her to call the thugs off, and can we make it right, and you know his pain, and he this, and she's like, you shouldn't have slapped me, you know. And he was like, I'm sorry, I apologize, can't we get past? She's like, no, but ain't this something? Wasn't Justin had all this smack? He was talking all this smack in the hospital to David. Like, David's telling him, if you think my wife did something, wait till you see what I could do. But meanwhile, he's scared as heck of Veronica. Veronica's a bad bitch. She is bad. Bad to the bone. I love her. She evil though. She too evil for me, but I love the power, that strength she has. Anyway, that sureness of herself, but it's gonna catch up to her. You watching one of these seasons. Anyway, so then they have David is with the DA and George, and he stops by and asks him to go after Veronica. He wants to go after Veronica for covering up the murder that Catherine did or something. He said, "Oh, you want me to sue? This is for Catherine?" He said, "No, it's for Veronica." And George is like, "I don't trust this. I don't know what kind of games you and your wife are playing." He's an ex-wife. She said, "I don't care." He said, "Y'all got blow up cars blowing up and shootouts in the house and stuff." He was like, "I don't trust this." And David's like begging him, almost begging him to do this. And George is like feeling uncomfortable. He said, "Get me some proof, like a video or something." David don't have that, but David's supposed to go to his office and they're supposed to talk. Oh, so when George leaves, David feels like telling the information. He said, "Oh, let me go up and tell Jeffrey." So he runs up the stairs. He's like, Jeffrey. He runs up the stairs to tell Jeffrey what he's doing and what happened. And when he opened Jeffrey's door, when he opened Jeffrey's door, Lord, hallelujah, Jeffrey is getting it on with Madison in the bed, and Madison was on top. And David was like, I tell y'all know what, he was so shocked. I think he would have had a heart attack. I'm surprised he didn't have a heart attack. And he closed the door, and it went off like that. And that was too funny. Oh my goodness. Okay. So then David runs downstairs after seeing them naked and stuff, and he's like walking around pacing back and forth. He don't know what to do because he ain't never seen no mess like that before. It's like, yeah, I'm okay with my son being gay, but ooh, catching them in the middle of I mean, they was working it out. Anyway, let's see, Madison, you know, Jeffrey and Madison up there, you know, like going back and forth, and he's like, oh, so embarrassed, da da da. He's like, oh, but your father's okay with it. You need to just realize it. Stop thinking that gay sex is so bad and blah 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 blah. And, you know, they going back and forth with it, and you know how Jeffrey is. I don't know, my dad, you know. Anyway, so Madison goes downstairs first, and he proceeds to try to make Mr. Harrington, David, feel bad, you know, uncomfortable. He keeps standing there, and David sits down, and he's acting like he's reading a newspaper and stuff, and a book or something, and Madison keeps asking him questions, and he's like, Madison, is there something you need? He's like, you want me to check on your back? He said, no, that's okay, you ain't got to check on my back. He said, is there something else you need? You can go. He said, no, I'm just standing here trying to make you feel uncomfortable. He said, what makes you think I'm uncomfortable? He said, I can see you blushing by the side. He said, Madison, you mind? He said, okay, I'm going. So he leaves after doing that. Then they show what's her name, Celine. Celine shows up to Veronica's house, and they just talk and discuss stuff, and Celine keeps saying, why you want to do this for me? You ain't never had a nice word to say to me since I known you, and blah blah blah, you know. And you know, Veronica, you know how she keep it real. Veronica kept it real, say, yeah, like basically because I want to get back the criers until they begging in the street, and like you were. You know, like when too late, they poor and need money like her and struggling. I said, wow, she's a cold-blooded at heart, you know. And she said, oh, so it's about you? She said, of course it's about me. You know, I wouldn't give a damn about you and your kids. I said, dang, really, Veronica? Yo, I'm surprised she don't have much more enemies than she got. She probably do. Anyway, so Celine told her she don't trust her anyway. She said, that's okay, you know, you don't trust me, you don't trust me, whatever. But, you know, let me know if you want my help. And Celine said, left, saying she got to think about it. And then what happens? They show Landon with Oliver and Charles, and the Attorney General Kyle shows up to talk to Charles. And then he tells Charles that he really wanted him to win. I said, that's a damn lie, he didn't want him to win. And he said, well, why would you be? And then he said he was, Charles told him he was calling him, he's over, you know why? And he said, I guess you're going to replace me. He said, yes, I'm replacing you with my own Attorney General. He said, I guess, you know, that of course, it's your choice to do it. He said, you don't have to. He said, yeah, but we usually do. So the guy got up and left. He was pissed. I know he was, but he left. And then they went to the jail with Hannah and, was it Hannah and Catherine at the jail? And Wyatt is asking Hannah to pray for him and stuff. She said, I will. She said, and I do. She told me he need help. And Catherine told Hannah that she wants her to be her power of attorney over her estate. And I was like, oh, okay. So when I heard that, I was like, oh my God, them greedy kids of hers are gonna lose it. Hannah's kids are a piece of work, I'm finding out right now. You know, all that praying and all that church, she tried. See, a mother tries. But we don't know when they out there in the street getting influenced by other people. So she said Jim is broke, and that he would have to come to her for every little dime he wants, and that Candace and them need to give him that money back, else he's going to keep going after them. And I'm like, why? Why did Benny act like he's so tough after something like this? It's unreal. But anyway, so Hannah calls Candace and says, make sure y'all give that money back. And then she has to speak to Benny, and she tells Benny, look, give that money back, because I don't want no problems. Catherine's about to have me be power of attorney over her state. And he's like, what? And I'm like, wait a minute. Why would Hannah say that to them? Why would they have her say that? She keeps She won't tell people when she pays gas. You know what I mean? She don't tell little things. But you gonna tell something big like that, that you're gonna be in charge of all the criers' money? That didn't even make sense. And I'm sorry, Tyler Perry could have had that slip up a better, different way. But tell me down in the comment section what you think about that. What do you think? I need to hear what y'all think. Because it can't be just me that I was sitting there going, what? Why did she open her mouth? And she said it so quick. Oh, and then of course she says it while he's there with Candace. Is you checking Candace every 5 minutes that she trying to cheat. But you say it in front of Candace that you're going to have all this money and all this power. Dumb. That was real dumb. And then Mitch is there. All of them are there. It didn't make no sense. I didn't like that. But I knew that's what was going to go down. Okay, so then, you know, Candace asked Benny, what did mommy say? Why was you like this? And he told her. And they like, what? You know, and I said, there go the greedy. The machines were turning, and Mitch was like, oh, Candace, I see your brain going. Candace like, I wasn't thinking nothing. I wasn't thinking nothing. No, I wasn't. And then he goes, but you know, she said, because I don't want them to keep going after Benny. And then Mitch goes, well, what if I could promise that he can't go after Benny? Now, Mitch, how you, I mean, I don't understand it. 1 minute you telling her don't do it. It's going to keep going on. Give the money back. And the next breath you go, well, maybe I could stop them from doing it, and then you can keep the money. I don't know who the writers are on this show, but this is crazy. I'm telling you, it's absolutely crazy. So then goes to David and Jim, and David goes to see Jim in the hospital, and he tells Jim that he saw Jim having sex. He saw Jeffrey having sex, and Jim is laughing. Jim was cracking up, and I was laughing too because David couldn't take it. And Jim, I knew when I saw Jim laugh, I couldn't help but laugh. And Jim said, well, what was they doing? How was they doing it? And David's like, stop, it's not funny. I don't want to talk about it. And then Jim tells David that Celine stopped by. He said, oh yeah, I meant to tell you about that, and you know, and all this stuff. And but then David told Jim that he gave the red folder. He's given a red folder to the DA and turning, what's it called? Turning states something, or states evidence or something. I don't know. He said he was going to tell everything. And Jim is trying to tell him, no, I don't think that's a good idea. That's real risky. Trying to get immunity. It could turn on you. It's real slippery slope. He's telling David not to do that. And he's like, let me take care of that biatch. Let me do it. Let me show you how it's done. I'm sitting there going, he can't even take care of his own kids and his own family, but he gonna tell them how it's done. Hello? Anybody else out there with me? Let me know in the comment section. Anybody else out there with me who knows this man ain't gonna... Jim Cryer don't know how to do nothing right. He's an idiot too. So that's what he told him about that. And then that's when Veronica comes in the hospital room, and she comes and serves Jim with Celine's court papers for child support and stuff, and pain and suffering and whatever else. And then she tells David that she had sex with Jim like 2 times, and he got a little eeny weeny, and he got a little mole and a freckle or something. And he was like, it's more like a freckle. He said, oh yeah, but she said it looks cancerous, so you need to get it checked. And he said, I'm looking at cancer, talking about her. I said, dang, they some rough people, I tell you. And so when she leaves, after them going back and forth with all that nonsense, she leaves. Jim says, David, it didn't happen. It's not true. He said, do you believe her? Do you believe her? He said, yes. He said, I believe her. He said, but I don't even give a damn right now. He said, I don't give a damn. He said, then I have permission to do what I want to do to that biatch. Yo, what? And he's like, you have my permission to do it. What permission? He ain't with her no more. Permission. You know, so he said that. And then David said, I have to do a confession. And he said, what? So he confessed to Jim that he slept with Catherine. What the hell is up with these rich people? What is wrong? What is wrong? When you get money, you think you're supposed to, well, I shouldn't say when you get money, because there's Negroes out here, people out here that be sleeping with everybody too. You know? And they don't have money. But they be sleeping around with everybody else's wives, girlfriend, cousins, sisters, brothers, whatever, mothers, fathers. Anyway, so when he told David, and when he told Jim that he slept with Catherine, he's like, nope, somebody had to do it. He said, thanks for doing it for me. I said, yo, he a cold-blooded mother something too. Him and Veronica need to be together. Honestly, Jim and Veronica to make a good crazy pair. I wouldn't mess with them for nothing. So then Candace goes to the bank with Benny, and she gives him, you know, she does the paperwork, and the lady's like, oh, I remember you, blah, 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 blah. And they're doing the paperwork, and Benny's being like, I don't want to do that, I don't want to. And he acting like a little baby. Like, act like the man you supposed to be. He acting like a little punk and stuff. And Candace is like, give her your ID. Here, you give it to her. He passes it to Candace to give to the lady. It was just ridiculous how he was acting. But I still don't get this whole thing, how he switches when finally she's in good graces with their mother. Candace is in good graces with their mother, that Benny is forcing her, encouraging her to do something wrong again. You know, and anyway, what she finds out is that Candace opened up an account in just his name and gave him $1 million. $1 million. And he's like, whoa, what? You know, he's all shocked and stuff. And it's a separate account from the mothers and everything. And that's how it went off. It went off, and he's happy, and she's happy. Oh, she gave Jim Cryer $8.35. So I'm trying to figure out what does that represent. Was this supposed to be $8 million, $350,000 or something? I don't know what it is, but it seems like the next episode is going to give us the information, because I mean there's so much stuff left out. But put it down in the comment section what you think, how Benny was acting, and how Tyler has switched this whole thing, that now he's the one who's telling her to run and steal the money when she's trying to do the right thing and be in good graces with the mother. I don't get this at all. I don't get it at all. There's so many unanswered questions. So anyway, it's your girl Barbie J, and I'm out, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.